tarakea te maunga, ko moitangi te awa, ko te moana tā poko a tawha ki te moana, e papaki mai ana ngā ngaru ki te ākauroa. Ko mātie te marae, ko tūmoana te whare tūpuna, ko te tao Māui, ko te hokokeha ngā hapū, ko te raroa te iwi, ko tinana te waka, ko Nore Martin ahau. Kia ora, my name is Nore Martin. I'm from a small west coast settlement in the far north of Aotearoa, New Zealand, and I'm a passionate fisherman all day, every day. At the moment, I live in Auckland, one of the big cities in Aotearoa, New Zealand. However, I grew up in this beautiful place on the west coast in Northland, a place where there was only 50 to 100 people at any one time living here, only a few houses. I grew up here in the 80s, where my dad, he taught me how to fish, and he instilled a passion for fishing within me, which I hold dear now. I continue to do whenever I can. And although I live in Auckland, I spend a lot of time here in the north getting out there. I spent many years living here, so I've grown to have a very good understanding of fishing, particularly surf casting, land-based, rock fishing, all different aspects of fishing the west coast from shore. Spent a lot of my days as a youngster learning how to fish. My dad was probably one of the main people that would always take me out, show me how to fish this beach. Taught me a lot of the knowledge around when and where to fish, different conditions, different areas. Also had the privilege of fishing with a lot of my uncles and some of my cousins growing up. It's a place that's provided for our people for many, many years. And I guess we also have a responsibility to look after this place. So practicing values such as only taking what you need. And a lot of that is dependent on what the occasion might be. You might be just going out to get a couple of fish to feed your family, or you might be going out to catch many fish to feed a big event at our local marae or a gathering. The good thing about the West Coast, it does look after itself in terms of being a much rougher coast than the East Coast.
Bit nippy at you, mate?
Starting to get a little bit nippy, might have to put a jersey on. It's mixture of sun, but then we get a bit of overcast and a little bit of rain, so might pop a jersey on. And I've traded in the jandals for some shoes just because I'll be on the rocks, so get this all set up. Go and have a cast out here. This is probably, I wouldn't say it's one of my go-to spots all the time. I have caught fish here a few times in the past, but because the coast is so rough, I've sort of just tucked around in here. It's fishable. Hopefully there might be a kahawai, maybe even a snapper or trevally out there, so we'll set up and fire a sinker out with a nice bait on it, and hopefully the fish will bite. The West Coast, you tend to get less better days than you do rough days. There's always a big swell rolling in. It's just can be unforgiving at times. There's an area stretching the beach which is all sand, and then of course there are areas of rocks, and those provide good options for us when we want to get out and catch fish. Sometimes fish will be holding in the guts, in the holes along the sand. Otherwise you might be having to look around rocks where they might be feeding on the shellfish. Bit of bait elastic, keep everything on the hook, otherwise you sometimes either lose it in the cast. And this bait's been frozen, caught it fresh, it's mullet, but it's been in the freezer, so it softens up a little bit over time, but that should be alright, that'll hold. I'm just out in the deep at the moment. Pretty much sand, and then it drops off into a bit of a channel out here, and that's where quite often the fish will come in and feed on the edge of that, so I'm just over it. with the wind blowing a bit of an onshore here, it's hard to fire at a really good cast, but able to get over and across. Yeah, now it's just a waiting game. Grown up my whole life land-based fishing, surf casting, rock fishing. Didn't really do too much on the boat growing up. I've spent a lot of time on boats. I used to be a scuba instructor, so I'd only ever go out on the boat to dive most of the time. I guess the extent of my boat fishing has been limited to just bottom fishing with bait, and really it's only been the last 3 years or so that I've become a little bit more serious around boat fishing, whether that be targeting kingfish, live baits, jigs, soft baiting, targeting bigger game species, marlin. Got my first marlin this year, so I really do have the bug for it now, but there's just something about being on the land, on the rocks. It's more challenging overall when you've got to contend with rocks around you, when you're using light gear in the surf, and when you're using light line and targeting, say, snapper, and then you hook a big kingfish and you're on it for half an hour, 40 minutes, it really does test you all around, your skill as an angler. But I guess it's also treasured memories growing up with a lot of people who are no longer around. And as I grew older, I guess you start to develop your own skills and try things that are suitable to you. You know, even getting into things like distance casting, lighter gear. Now we use lighter gear, means you get more distance, you can cut through the water better, and definitely increases your chances of catching a fish. Oh, choice. Oh, perfect. Nice little snapper, tamure we call them. So some of the bigger ones are probably heading off the spawn. We still catch some of these smaller ones at this time. That's a perfect little eater. That's something I'd probably throw in the fire, cook up while I'm on the beach. So, happy days. Happy to catch a snapper in these conditions, that's for sure. First fish goes back to Tangaro, sign of respect, and hopefully we'll be able to catch more. Ease away. Too good. All right. See if we can get another one. So the moon phases play an important role in fishing. We call it the maramataka, the Māori lunar calendar. That's something we follow. That's something I grew up learning about how to fish to the moon. I actually didn't know what maramataka was until I was probably in my early teens. My dad showed me this old written document from one of our tupuna, one of our ancestors had written it down, and it detailed each moon phase, and every day was a particular phase, and it would start at the new moon. It was called whiro. Whiro was the first day of the lunar cycle, the maramataka, and then from whiro all the way back to the full moon, which is rākau nui, and then back to the new moon, whiro again. Each day detailed whether it was good for fishing, good for planting, good for other activities, or bad for fishing, bad for planting, and bad for other activities. For example, some days we're better to give the ocean a break. Other days, particularly in the phase we're in now, we're in the last quarter of the moon phase. Those are known as the Tangaro phases. Tangaro is the god of the ocean, so there's the association in its name. But Tangaro phases are typically the times where you'll catch a lot of good fish, whereas around the days leading up to the full moon, leading up to rākau nui, you got stronger currents just starting to pick up, and you tend to get a more aggressive bite, particularly with larger fish. Likewise, the few days after whiro, the new moon, especially land-based, I've caught some of my biggest fish just after the new moon and the days following. But Tangaro phases also quite often come with settled weather. Those are the ones that are most favoured for fishing, but also for planting and just in general water activities, diving as well. suppose when you grow up in a small community like this, right by the coast, fishing is, you know, that's how you survive. You might have a few cattle running around, you might get to go to a township once a fortnight to get groceries, but you've got the ocean, and that's your supermarket. Part of our tikanga, or our custom, was to take fish, particularly to our elders or to those who couldn't get out and catch their own. It's a custom we still practice today. It's something we also instill in the next generation. Whether you're a hunter or a fisherman, you go out and gather kai, you gather food, you take it and you feed people. So another custom of ours is we only take what we need from the ocean, and if that's just a couple of fish for dinner, or you need to catch many to feed an occasion, that's what we do, and that's how we manage our species and our environment, also giving them a break when they need it. Eating fish for us, it's just part of our everyday lives. You know, it's because you live right next to the coast, you've grown up with it, you'll have your favourite fish out of all of the different species, but for me, I love them all. Grew up not a bad cook actually. Over the years, learning how to cook, I like to experiment a little bit. So, you know, while some of what we do might be traditional, I do like to swim outside the flags a little bit and bring in other influences into how I cook my fish and other seafood, particularly ikamata or ikaota, which is raw fish. Those are things that are, you know, special memories growing up, spending time on the beach. You've had a day on the beach, you might spend the night, you might camp on the beach, and it's nothing like a fire just to end the day, to chill you out, and just cooking on the fire. It's always nice to chill out on the beach with a fire. You know, you can just tune out, but even better when you can cook some fish on it. Done it for years, and thankfully got a little tamu there, a little snapper earlier. I've already prepped most of the things that's going to go into it. It's pretty simple. It's just, I've scaled it, I've gutted it, keeping the head because I'm going to eat that, the wings, everything gets eaten. The only thing that's left over are the bones. So salt and pepper. I've made a few cuts into the fillets just to help it cook through easier. Going to throw some onions, some tomatoes. Getting a little bit flash today. I've got some coriander, some spring onion. You can put some chili in, you can mix it up, but at its most simplest, you would have salt, pepper and onions, tomatoes, and everything else is all just nice to add into it. So using tin foil, don't have any kelp to put it in, so just tin foil, wrap it all up, throw it on the fire. Sometimes with fish you can actually just leave the scales on and sort of cook it like that, but we're going to wrap this up so it's all nice, maintains all the moisture, the juices. The embers are burning down, it's not going to take long, so yeah, start working a little bit of magic. More traditionally, fish cooked in the fire was done in kelp. You know, if you got a big enough bladder kelp, you could cut it open, you know, put your fish in. Otherwise, you could just wrap your fish up in kelp and put it on the fire, and that would help too, so that you wouldn't burn the outside of your fish. Yeah, got plenty of memories of cooking on the beach, and I still do it now with my own kids when they were growing up. Something I'll be hoping to do with my grandkids, and I hope they'll have a passion for fishing just like I have. There's also this thing we call whanaungatanga, which I guess the easiest way to explain it, so whānau means your family, and I guess whanaungatanga is an extension of that to talk about almost like the coming together as whānau, as family, bonding, you know, special time together, or if you're meeting new people, it's getting to know each other, you know, that's all whanaungatanga. And the best place for whanaungatanga is sitting around the fire, just, you know, having a chat while something's cooking. That is perfectly cooked. The onions have softened up, the tomatoes. It doesn't look dry, so I think it's come out pretty good. And I get to eat it as the sun goes down. Perfect. You know, for me, being on the beach is my release from everything. That's, you know, if ever I've got any issues in the world and I need to solve them, I just go down the beach, throw a line in, sit there. It's good thinking time. And you know, we live in a world that's so busy. And I've spent many of my years, probably most of my years, living up here in the north, being able to get out to the beach, throw a line, whether you catch a fish or not. They say, you know, with gardening, weed the garden, weed the mind. Well, I don't know what the saying is for the beach, but you know, you throw a line in the water and you just let your mind, you know, set it free by just getting rid of all the clutter, and at the same time you might get a few fish and come home with a kai.
My name's Sam Connolly. I'm from Auckland, New Zealand. Yeah, born and bred Kiwi. I actually grew up in Taranaki, which is a smallish town on the west coast. Yeah, grew up there, been a bit of a wharf rat, fishing the wharf and moving on, catching live baits, trying to catch johnnies and doing a little bit of free diving and stuff like that. My whole family sort of like a bit of a beach family. So my dad and brother surfed, and whenever they'd go surfing, I'd tag along and sometimes go surfing, but most of the time pack my fishing rod and try to catch a few fish. And fishing has been good. We're meeting a lot of different people that are passionate about the same things that I am. This weekend, I've been talking to a guy, Nore, jacked up a trip with him. So I hooked the boat up and went up to the Bay of Islands and met him there. He's an awesome guy, and he's super keen on fishing as well. He had done a lot of boat fishing, but really good at land-based fishing. So it's nice to meet someone like that where you can share knowledge and learn off each other.
I actually get a buzz just out of catching liveys.
Yeah, it's mean, eh?
Yeah, bro.
Oh, do you know what I forgot? It was a little live bait net.
Oh, that's all right.
We'll have to hack it with my hand. Oh, well, it's all right when there's heaps in there, but when you sort of get down to numbers, you got to chase one around and things.
It was really awesome meeting Sam. Meeting him for the first time, you don't really know what to expect in terms of how you're going to get on. It's not often I meet someone that I don't gel with when we're out fishing, because usually we share similar passions, and I could tell with Sam he was very passionate.
Real good this morning. Had a mean sleep last night. Awesome dinner. We're out here nice and early, so fingers crossed we can get some kingy action.
It's a good chance for me to learn a few new things. So while I've done a couple of things, I haven't done things such as soft baiting in the wash, and that's something I'm going to get to experience with Sam. Of course, 100% we're going to be jigging, because that's just my thing when we're going out targeting kingfish. Might run some live bait as well. There's opportunities to get in the water and dive, so hopefully we do well. I heard he's pretty good at the old soft baiting in the wash, so yeah, it's a new thing for me. Yeah, it's looking pretty good out here. A few birds around, a little bit of sign on the sounder, nice bit of wash behind us. Got our jack max down. Hopefully some nice big kingies will be ready to come in and smash them. Just feels like one of those days it's gonna fire up, hopefully.
It's coming onto that sign now.
Sweet, brother.
So the area that we were fishing, the things that we were looking for is current, and we're fishing the front edge, so fishing the pressure edge of it. Also, there was some good reef structure, and it was stacked with bait and birds, so it was sort of like everything you'd want in one zone. Good wash zones for those big fish to hunt in, eh?
Come on, son, warm us up. Yeah, the jigs might be a good call, bro. Warm up, get the body, get the blood pumping.
Oh man, nothing pulls like a kingy, eh? If you haven't done it in a while and you get onto them, you're like, whoa, forgot they pull this hard. With a lot of my jigging in the past, we'll actually be like offshore jigging structure that's submerged. So we'll be jigging like a pin in 100 metres that comes up to 60 metres. We'll sound it out, we'll find bait. But in this instance, we're actually fishing like a big pinnacle, dropping down with heaps of current hitting one face of it, the wind hitting it, so there's white water everywhere, and it drops off to 30 metres, like right on the cliff. And there's bait fish all built up on the front edge of it, so we're flicking our jigs like right onto that sharp edge of the cliff and jigging it up past it. So you have to try hold your boat in place, but be right in that sort of danger zone.
Oh, I'm on. Yeah. Well, that second drop.
How good.
Oh. No, it's locking the drag up a bit more. Kingy action. Yeah.
And then you hook a fish and have to pull them out a little bit to land it. It's wild.
No mucking around. Don't want these getting to the reef. Oh, it's a good workout.
Yeah.
Love it. Love jigging. By far my favourite way to catch kingies. Yeah, nice. You want two, bro?
Yeah.
Oh shit, nice. Oh, double hookup.
And it was good getting a double hookup quite early in the piece, you know, because sometimes with the kingfish you can work pretty hard to get a fish. Nothing like getting the kingies on the jigs. Woohoo!
Oh, yeah!
Oh, mean haku!
Oh, that's a mean fish. Beauty, beauty, beauty. Beautiful eating. Look at that. Sashimi, smoked. Let's get him, brother. Beauty. The kingfish for me is 100% my favourite fish to target. Pound for pound, you know, it's one of the most aggressive, hard, dirty fighting fish in the ocean. And you know, I still remember when my dad caught a kingfish just out on the west coast here, surf rod. This is back in the early 90s, and he come home with this massive thing. It was over 25 kilos or thereabouts, and I just remember being in awe of this fish and thinking, yeah, you know, one day I'd love to catch one of these. And at that time, not many people were catching them. They're pretty much a bycatch, I suppose. You were targeting snapper and other species, and you'd hook up to a kingfish, and most people would lose them. But after a big fight, he landed this, and that was for me like, one day I want to catch one of those. Yeah. Oh yeah, boy, that's the start. Jesus, close to the bottom too. Oh, don't you get me to the bricks. Oh, he's a dog. I'll lock him up, who cares? Gotta keep him away from that reef. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, feeling, brother. That's it, double hookup. I've got a feeling this might have had its tail nipped. He just lost his fight. Oh no, he's under the boat. Oh no, he's still in one piece.
Oh!
We get you to the brief.
Oh, bloody awesome fish, man.
This is a good fish, brother, and yeah, we're having a bit of fun catching a few kingies. So this size here, perfect to feed the whānau.
Yep.
Take back to the family and feed a few people. This is a
beautiful fish.
Nice, healthy looking fish. So I reckon this is one we'll put in the bin and then maybe drop a few more jigs and just have a bit more fun and
sounds good to me.
Just see if we can get maybe something a little bit bigger in the boat.
Yeah.
Not only am I passionate about fishing, but I also love diving. So if there's an opportunity and the water's nice, I'd love to get in for a swim. Also really love kina, or otherwise known as sea urchin. Yeah, I was pretty keen to get in, grab a kai, grab a few kina, you know, maybe even a cray if there was one around, but my primary focus, you know, to get in, get some kina. Oh, the water temperature's starting to warm up this time of the year. We're in late spring, coming into summer soon, so it's not too bad. This time of the year, the kina should be just starting to fatten up. There's usually indicators on the east coast, such as the putukawa tree. When they're in bloom, it's a sign to get out and harvest kina. They're not quite blooming at the moment, but they'll be okay. They'll be starting to come on, they'll be sweet.
and I'm keen to have a feed of them.
Sam reckons, you know, he didn't mind a kina or two as well. So my wife, she also said if you get kina, you must keep me some. So, you know, there was a couple of objectives to fulfill to get into the water, get those kina.
It actually goes quite nice on a bit of sticky rice. So. Yeah.
When I jumped in the water, the viz was amazing for a start. I could tell pretty early that there was unlikely to be crayfish around. It was just the wrong sort of country for it. But there was certainly no shortage of kina. There was a good amount of kelp around, and that's important for, you know, ensuring that the kina roe are in good condition. There was a whole lot of different fish species. There were actually two different type of kina species as well. So there's the normal kina sea urchin that we typically get. But there was also what's known as the long spine kina. Certain times of the year, those are quite fat. When I say fat, the rows are full. And so I thought I'd, you know, grab at least one of those and test it out. Usually in the winter time when these are quite skinny, these will be fat and just bursting. So
awesome.
I'll get you to split them open. We'll just check, and if they're good, I'll jump back in and grab some more.
Man,
at least we know
good.
which ones to target too.
Yeah, awesome. Oh yeah, they're looking pretty good.
Not bad, eh?
Yeah, yeah. They're not full the whole way through, but there's a few good rows in there. Oh, it's creamy too.
Oh, yum.
Yeah.
My favourite bit.
Yeah, it's pretty good, bro.
I think they passed the test.
Yeah, they passed the test.
Yeah, man. So yeah, a little bit later when the Putakawa tree blooms, these will be just like absolutely loaded with roe. They just get fatter and fatter, but they are sweet as. But whenever you go for a dive, you just got to check them. It's a waste of time getting your limit of kina if they're not fat. It just takes you forever to get them all out. So always try and make sure the seafood you're getting is in good condition, and that looks pretty good to me. We also get a few of these ones around. These are the long spine kina, and usually when these are our normal kina that we always target, but when they're skinny, especially in the winter and all of that, these ones can be quite fat. So I thought I'll grab one of these, open it up, and just, if they're fat, well then might get a few of these too. Yep. Sometimes these can be bursting, those are skinny, but potentially these could be skinny at the moment, and we'll just leave the rest. But there was a few of these down there too. So
I'm pretty keen to try the long spine. Obviously see that he's passionate about gathering them, and it was an important part of their lifestyle. Their family had been doing it for generations. He was passing on that knowledge to his grandkids and things like that. So it was awesome. All of it had a story behind it. And then also things like the best time to harvest them. He was harvesting them at this time of year because they're starting to fatten up, and checking them before taking a whole heap. So it was good to learn all of that about them as well.
have a taste anyway, see what you think.
Yeah.
The glove on, but should be right. Oh, that's actually a bit sweeter.
Yeah, it's a bit sweeter. The initial taste is a little bit different too, eh?
Texture as well, eh?
Yeah, texture. It's a little bit more like grainy or...
Yeah, it's got a slightly rougher texture in the mouth, but I like the sweetness of this. So these sometimes, especially when they're full of cream, can almost have a slightly bitter taste, but they're still nice. But these are, yeah, I'll get a mixed bag, I think.
Yeah, sounds good. Nore hadn't done a lot of wash fishing with the soft baits. I know a lot of people sort of go out and they'll fish under the workups with them, or they'll fish out deep with them, but I'm really passionate about casting them into those washy gutters, and when you hook a fish in there, it's crazy how much harder it fights. So it was nice to show Nore what I was passionate about.
I was really excited to throw a few soft baits, you know, in the wash with Sam. He'd given me a bit of a rundown on what to do and all of that. So we're drifting along and we're just you know, there's different structure and you can see where the wash was and all of that sort of things.
You should be able to feel like a little tap as it touches the bottom.
Oh yeah.
And then I kind of like do like a couple of lifts. Sometimes that tap though might actually be a fish, you know?
Yeah.
I reckon like those little washy bits like that,
Yeah.
because like as it pushes up, I think it pulls stuff off the rocks.
Yeah.
And then the fish will feed like right hard up in it.
Before too long, I think Sam may have had the first bite. And from memory, I think he lost that one.
Yeah.
Oh, nice one.
Oh, no! What's going on? Right.
I love to learn, and of course I'm watching Sam like a hawk, you know, watching every part of his technique, because, you know, from what I've heard and what I've seen so far, Sam's the man.
Get back on it though.
Put it on.
Yeah, little fella. Whew. Finally made one stick.
Made it stick, fella, me.
He fell off.
Made it stick, spoke to you soon.
Yeah.
One of these fish have to stick, surely. He may have lost a couple others, I can't quite remember, but
Oh,
got him?
no. Oh, what?
You've really turned the corner, haven't you, mate?
Oh, no.
Rubber
I
hooks
thought,
continue.
yeah, I thought we had a. Oh yeah, heaps of excuses. Yeah, yeah. I was even changing jig heads. You know, like I fish quite heavy jig heads. I was like, I'll try a lighter jig head. I'll try a new jig head just to make sure it's sharp. But it didn't really change anything. It was just I just had a bad day, I guess. But we persevered. We persevered, and we got some fish. So that's the main thing, eh?
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh,
big
oh,
one.
oh, yes,
big
yes.
one.
You might wake up. Please be a snapper.
I think it is, bro.
Come on. Got a colour yet? Yeah, that feels snappery. He's punching above his weight. Good fish.
Mangfish, bro. Well done, bro.
Nice.
Mean.
Stop with us.
Sweet, bro.
Pretty happy with the snapper. First time soft bait in the shallows. Old Sammy put us on the spots. Oh, that's all right, bro. Oh, this is goody. Love it, love it, love it. Oh, mean, bro.
Hey, bro.
Definitely starting to get the hang of this. Hey, might catch up to you yet, Sammy?
I think you're beating me, mate.
And then finally I hooked a monster. Oh, I think I
yeah,
got
nice
fish
fish.
on. Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
proper fish.
He's all right. All right. This time you reckon, bro?
Yeah.
Just trying to keep it out of the reef.
Yeah. Get on the way, bro.
Oh,
dog.
yes. I've got a bit of drag on this too.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, I can tell.
Oh, get out of the... I can feel the bush, bro. Far out.
I'm just trying to get on top of him, bro.
Yeah.
I've done some big zigzags. I got the boat in behind it to sort of get out of the reef.
Yeah. Easy took me in. I can feel the weed rubbing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've got him out, bro.
Yeah.
Nice. Shot, brother. Good
Nah,
skippering.
sweet,
Oh,
bro.
he's still green though.
This is a big fish, bro.
Yeah. Took a while to wake him up.
Yeah. He didn't know what happened there. eh?
Oh,
you're
no!
kidding me.
Out of the weeds, and then just like that, it broke.
No. That was a monster. That
Damn
was
it!
That was a monster, bro.
Oh, it broke at the rip through, eh? Rip through the leader. You can just see the rubbing on it too. That was a little bit unfortunate, but that made me, you know, made me want a bit more. So. I guess if I was to describe myself in relation to the ocean in Māori, I would say ko au ko te moana ko au. And basically that means I am the ocean and the ocean is me. And I suppose a lot of people with a passion for the ocean, whether it be fishing and diving, can really resonate with that saying. It's saltwater in our veins, it's who we are, it's what we've grown up with, it's something we're we've had a passion for our whole life and will continue until we're no longer in existence.